Good Wednesday morning. It's Fix the Combine day. So that's why it's sitting here on the floor. They're putting the new fan in it. It's not Larry, because Larry's still not back to work. It's two guys out of the Batavia store that have been doing a lot of the combine work. Oh, because of Larry not being back to work yet because of his triple bypass surgery. But yeah, first problem we had was getting the thing out of there because it didn't want to start. Why? I don't know. We jumped it and got it out, but you wouldn't think the batteries would be going dead. It's not that old, but yeah. So anyways, our rain that's supposed to be coming tomorrow, yeah, they've now said the majority of it's going to be throughway south. Well, the throughway is 8 miles south of me, so I guess we'll see if we actually get anything. So we'll see. And like everything else engineers design, it's not easy to get at this shit. I know it's dark, you're not gonna see, but that's the fan housing down in there. He's on the ground crawling around to get the shields underneath. They told me they didn't mind if I filmed as long as I didn't say anything bad about them. Which I'm not gonna, of course, because they're here to fix my shit, so. But yeah, you can see what a gem it is to work on all this. Of course, most of you all saw it last fall when Larry and I were working on it in the field. Pieces and parts. Fan shaft, fan blades. Yeah. So the fan is out. It's laying down there under the machine. Now, the problem is getting it out because, as you can see, we need a couple inches. So we're going to take a 30-ton bottle jack and try and lift the one side up enough to pull that out. Yeah. Why make it easy? It wasn't easy getting that part out. But yeah, I remember back when we had this issue, somebody left a comment that it was my fault because there was, I let too much corn get in the fan. I told these guys that, they laughed because, and if I pissed you off, whoever it was that said that, I don't really care. But the fan blows air, not corn or beans. Corn and beans don't get in there. But, so yeah, this is the project we're trying. I told these guys they should look it up on YouTube because there's so many of you YouTube experts out there. I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell us what we did wrong. Hey, that's working. She's going up. So, everybody told me it was overkill to have a 60,000 pound press. I guess it wasn't overkill because we needed the 30,000 or the 30 ton jack. Yeah, it's going up.
Just enough, I hope.
What's that?
I hope we have just enough.
All right.
Either that or we'll end up putting the other block under. I got 2x4s laying around if we need to add a 2x4. It's funny how it sounds like it's lifting this side too. You can hear the tracks. Aha. Ooh. What happened?
That's about all she wants.
That's it?
Yep.
She's close. So how about here, Sam?
What's that?
Well, worst case scenario, if we let that.
Backing up.
There we go. It's out. You think we ought to let the jack down till we do it again? Just so it's not sitting there with that much pressure on it. Okay, so there's your fan assembly that, again, I'll piss a few of you off, but as you know, for the last 4 years, I really don't give a fuck. A few of you that said, get it out and roll it on the floor. You'll be able to tell if it's bent. He laughed because he thought that was funny. How you gonna roll that on the floor? Yeah, you could disassemble the whole fucking thing and take that shaft and roll it, but the shaft is a step shaft on the ends anyhow. So, no, we're not rolling it on the floor. All right, those guys just headed over to Cato to the pizza place to get something to eat because it's like 12:15. So there's the new shaft and arms and started on the fan assembly, the blades part. There's the old one that came out. So they got to obviously put the new bearings on the ends and whatnot and slide it back under. And yeah, no, we're not taking that completely apart to roll that shaft on the floor. No. Not doing more work than what we need to do. But so that's what it looks like when it's all apart. And yes, it's probably easier to assemble, jack like we did, and then push it all under and put it up in there as one piece, because it's very tight quarters in there to try and get your hands up in there to try and put them blades on after the fact. Yeah, I turned a little fan on for them here while they were working because, yeah, it's fucking hot again. Looking forward to tomorrow and Friday when it's supposed to start cooling back down and go into the 70s. Quite sure our crops are looking forward to it too. And tomorrow's our, like I said, our chance of rain that went from a ½ inch down to possibly a 1/10 or less again. At this point, I'll take a 1/10. I mean, what the fuck? Alright, so there's the new assembly. Old assembly. So now we're going to have to jack the combine back up, slide it all under, put it in, and hope it works better. I'm gonna say we can get all the hardware off of these and sweep them out so you're not so dirty when you get ready to put them back on.
Yeah, we can do that. As long as we don't, like you say, we just grab that hardware is my only concern.
Yep.
Brush them out or blow them out.
Wouldn't it be amazing if this one slid under without jacking it up? Then we know something was wrong.
No.
Nope. Same.
We don't have far to go.
No, same height. Jack it up the same height. Slide it under.
Get the couplers there, and you got
So spin that one more time,
that
Jeff.
much, you know?
Just wanna. So for those of you who watched last fall when Larry did that, and it would settle right back to its original spot, this one doesn't. And that's when Larry started trying to balance it with some extra nuts and washers and longer bolts. So
Just gotta get the keyway.
that one spins true and doesn't try. And what I mean by that, for those of you who might be confused, I feel like I got to sneeze. Larry would do like Jeff just did and spin it. He'd go around like 1.5 times and then settle right back to the one spot. So that one's not, which means that one's spinning much truer than what the old one did for whatever reason. All right, Big Bird is back in the corner. I just got to sweep up the floor here. Obviously you can see it's got some shit that came out of the combine because, yeah, we obviously turned it on and ran it to make sure that the fan was working properly. So one thing that I did notice when me and them guys were standing there after I backed it up, turned it on, let it run for a couple minutes, you know, let the fan speed up and then settle to its position, which means for you non-farmers where I had it set last year, which it did, and it stayed there consistently for a few minutes. So I hit the throttle down, turned the separator off. That's for you non-farmers, new ones. That's the whole gizmo mechanism inside that, you know, cleans the grain. But anyways, what I'm getting at is, for those of you who obviously run combines, my last 2 John Deeres did this too. When you turn your separator off, if you get out of the seat immediately and, like, you know, get out while it's still, the fan is still spinning and it's still slowing itself down, your bells and whistles start going off, you know, beep, 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 because you're out of the seat and it's still turning. I told that one guy, what I noticed was, I got out of the seat, I walked outside the door right there and started talking to him, and it beeped for a good, I'm just guesstimating, 20, 30 seconds, 20 seconds at least. In other words, it took that long for the fan to slowly stop spinning. Where I remember last year doing that, where I'd shut it off, jump out, it didn't take near that long for the fan to come to a halt and that thing to stop beeping. So I think there was something wrong with that whole fan assembly right from day one. But anyways, obviously that's all gone because they have to take it all back, because that's how warranty works. They take it back. He was explaining it to me. They have to have it for at least 3 months in case New Holland asks for it. And then after 3 months, I guess they just throw shit away if New Holland doesn't ask for it. Because I told him, I said, well, that coupler's brand new that was put on it after it took a shit after 8 hours. So if in 3 months they don't ask for it back, I'll take the coupler just to have one on hand. And if you don't know what I mean by the coupler, go back to last fall. You'll see and understand that, because I'm not going through all of that again. But so Big Bird should be ready for fall. That's if we have a crop, you know. I mean, who the fuck knows? Maybe it'll never rain again. All right, so I gotta bring the gator in. It's almost 4 o'clock. I'm gonna call it a day because I'm hot, I'm sweaty. Are there things I could do? Yeah. But I'm dirty. I'm gonna go take a shower. Phooey. So I'm gonna give you your one more thing. And I'm gonna hold the video till tomorrow morning, because that's when we're supposed to get the rain. So I guess you and I will find out together whether we actually get rain. But so here's your one more thing, talking about Big Bird. And those of you who've been here know what we've gone through. Those of you that are new, you can go back through prior videos. They'd be the fall videos, fall harvest. I put my shovel away. Ooh, I just swept the floor. The wind is blowing back at the door. I ate some of the dust. But anyways, I've said this before. That fucker does an awesome job when it's working right. I mean, the cleanest beans and corn I've ever had, especially beans. And you drive around, well, you've seen my bean fields. Do you see a whole lot of volunteer corn in them? No, you don't. And I'll show you more later as the beans start developing, and I show you that in future videos. But those of you who have been here also know from day one, that's I told these two guys, from day one we had nothing but issues. But I will give Brian, the owner slash president, credit. I will give John Lamphere, the one guy from New Holland that was out here numerous times, that I literally said, you're probably fucking sick and tired of hearing from me. And I think he actually said yes when I said that to him, which I don't blame him, you know, because I was constantly bitching about it. But like I said, put yourself in my shoes. You know, what we went through since day one. The computer issue, yeah, it took, last year it finally worked fine. So it took till the 3rd year, but And I remember John saying something about he thinks it was two different softwares fighting against each other, something. But they finally got it figured out, is the moral of that story. You know, the other little things that we had issues with, and then this, they fixed it. So have I had my issues with New Holland and not always spoke highly of them? Yes. But I can't say that they've never been here and stood behind shit. Maybe it took a little extra bitching to get it done, but they did it. So the one thing that'll always kind of be stuck in my craw, as the old saying goes a little bit, is the whole feeder house thing. Year one, literally day 1 or 2, whatever it was. The fact that for you non-farmers, like a new machine like that shows up at your farm, it's already got 15 to 20 hours on it because they run it at the factory, they run it at the dealership to make sure. And the fact that nobody ever lifted the head all the way up, or lifted the feeder house all the way up, I should say, while it was on and running, to hear the bang, 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 where the, you know, the flighting at the end of the rotors was hitting the feeder house. Because if you go back, what is it, fall of 22 or whatever, you'll see where we literally cut like 3/8 of an inch off the back of the feeder house. That one, New Holland will always be a little hard pressed to sell me on oops. Because, like I said, 18, 19 hours, I think it was, the machine had on it when it hit my doorstep. And literally, right from the jump, I figured that out. Nobody else ever did. So that one's, and it's fixed. But by rights, they probably should have had a new feeder house put on it. But considering it was built in Belgium and we were just starting harvesting, you know, it's not, nothing's affected by the fact that we cut that much off the back of it. So it's not, which is why I, you know, went along with doing that. But that just, let's just put it this way. Hopefully we are done with all of the issues that Big Bird has given us. Because Big Bird does a fucking super job when it's working properly. And let's just hope that we have zero issues from this day forward. I mean, we're always going to have some minor issues, but let's have minor issues, minor, not major issues like we've had. So we'll see what kind of rain we get in the morning. Well, I told you I'd let you know. You can see there's a little puddle there at the corner of the driveway. I did stop at the rain gauge when I took garbage to the dumpster, and we've got a 1/10 so far. And it's still lightly raining. I don't know if you can tell that, but I got the radar running on my phone over here to show you. They said the majority of it would be south. I mean, I'm the blue dot. So in about an hour, it's pretty much gone for us. And the majority of it stays south, like they said. They were saying throughway and south, and I'm about 8 miles north of the throughway. But you know what? It's a 1/10 of an inch so far. A little more probably in the next hour or so. Maybe they'll even be wrong and it'll last a little bit longer. But at this point, we'll take whatever we can get because we need it. And it's only going to be in the high 60s to low 70s today. And then 70s for another couple days. And then next week we get hotter and shit again. You know, back to the mid 80s, upper 80s, pushing 90. So hopefully we get some more rain next week. All right, we'll see you in the next one. All right, I'm going to give you a quick little third more thing, only because my puddle's getting a little bigger. It's actually raining a little bit harder. But that's not the third more thing. I just sat here in the chair and went through my video like I always do before I give it to Barb to edit and whatnot before she puts it up. And I noticed one thing when the old fans assembly was sitting here and the new one was sitting here. And I know there's people that have already left a comment well, will have left a comment because they didn't get this far, that yes, the old one ended up being taken apart. The only reason why we took the fan blades off the old one, there was those bolts that go through it are 5/16, and they had this special, like, bigger flat washer on it, bigger than what my normal 5/16 flat washers are that are in my bolt bin. And that was the only thing that they forgot to send, was those bigger round flat washers. So we had to take all the fan blades off to use those flat washers, which is not a big deal. There was nothing wrong with those flat washers, but they were bigger diameter, and we wanted to make sure we had the same weighting and everything. So that's why they took those fan blades off, because I know somebody's going to go, well, you weren't going to disassemble it, but I saw at the whatever, I didn't pay attention, 24-minute mark that the fan blades were all off it. Some people like to comment before they actually watch the whole video. So rather than me having to answer that to those people's comments, I'm answering it right now. That's why the fan blades were off of the old assembly, because we needed to rob those, what was there, 2, 4, 6 on each one, 6 bolts, so that's 6 washers, and there was 6 fan blades, I think, 5 or 6 fan blades, so 30 or 36 washers that we had to rob. Now I'm done.